for the serious gamer.
Hey guys, it's SpiderBot here, NextGenTactics.com, and this is a Halo Reach video, a little bit different from our multiplayer videos that we've been producing thus far for multiplayer. We're going to be performing a few weapons demonstrations and analysis on some of the common weapons. I mean, I'm not doing everything. I'm going to do a few of them, and if it's warranted, I could possibly look at the others. But we're just going to look at sort of kill distances, shooting speed, that sort of thing, and we're actually going to look at busting this myth about the resetting bloom and timing your shots with the DMR, and it also impacts some of the other weapons. The DMR, the needle rifle, the Magnum. Okay, and this is, this is basically to open up some debate on this subject because, well, I'm going to get into it when I mean, the first weapon we're going to look at is the DMR. But this is a debate. I'm going to offer evidence that refutes a lot of people's claims as to how I should be firing this DMR. And I'm just going to run through it, and I'm going to state my reasons or opinions on it, and you guys debate it. Let's debate it in the comments. I mean, I know there are pros and cons each way, but we're going to see it, and I'm going to do the analysis, and let's take a look right here. Okay, so it's basically me and Big Frizz testing this out. Big Frizz is one of our live stream subscribers. We've been playing a lot of Halo Reach together. And I'd call this like a medium distance, okay? So here I'm going to actually scope in, and I'm going to rapid fire. I'm going to fire as fast as I can, just keep pumping the trigger, okay? It takes about, I believe that was 8 shots. 8 shots without letting the bloom reset and narrow back down before firing again. And it took him out. So, 6 to drop the shields, and then I think 2 to take him down. So now I'm letting the bloom reset, okay? And it actually takes 5 shots. Okay, so yeah, I mean, definitely if you let the bloom reset, it takes fewer shots. However, this is slow motion. So here are the 8 shots, and the total time it takes to take somebody out by spamming the DMR is approximately 2 2/3 of a second. Okay, so 2.6666667 seconds. Okay, not spamming it, waiting for the bloom to reset, and I know my timing's not perfect. Okay, and it's never going to be absolutely perfect, no matter who you are. That takes 3 seconds to kill the enemy, okay? So a full 1/3 of a second longer to kill an enemy by letting the bloom reset with your DMR. So by spamming the DMR, you can actually kill somebody faster. Yes, it takes more ammunition. That is obviously a con to spamming the weapon. But I can kill somebody faster at close range, at medium range. At long range, it's going to be a little different. I didn't actually go through long range analysis, but I'd probably be more apt to time my shots at long range anyway. Typically you're trying to hit the guy to soften him up for one of your teammates or whatever. I mean, you can take him out at long range, but I mean usually they can duck into cover. So the analysis at a very long range might be slightly different, but for those of you saying, oh, it's far better to not spam the DMR, no, it's not. No, it's not. From an ammo standpoint, only it takes me less time to get a kill if I spam the DMR, period. And you can say, well, if you time it perfectly on the bloom, well, no one can time it perfectly. You're never going to be able to time it perfectly each and every time that you fire your weapon on somebody. You're never going to be able to get that perfect timing where the bloom perfectly resets and you're firing your next shot at that split nanosecond that the bloom resets. So again, I mean, is it better form not to spam? Possibly, but it doesn't offer you any additional advantage other than saving on some ammunition, but it takes more time, according to this analysis. Let's hear your thoughts in the comments and let's debate it. Alright, so we're going to show the same thing for the Magnum. And the first demonstration we're going to be doing is obviously the spamming.
gained the lead.
And we'll actually count how many bullets it takes to get the kill when we slow it down, because I'm going to slow it down afterwards. And then here's where we're actually waiting for the bloom to reset. So 5 shots, again, same as the DMR, 5 shots. I don't know where the 3 and 1 comes from, where the 4 shots comes from. But unless I'm missing a shot there. So this is the original with the spamming, all right? And we didn't count. Let me count. All right, so it took 8 shots, and that's very, very comparable to the DMR. So 5 shots to get the kill with the bloom resetting. So 2, 3, and we're on every time. Like, I don't think I missed there. 4, 5, and again, I don't know where the maybe at close range. I'm not sure. It's 3 shots and then 1 to the head to kill. But from what I've seen and shown in the video, it's 4 shots and then 1 to the head to kill. And maybe it's just depending on range. So here's the needler, and we're just going to show how many needles it takes to take the shields down, and then 1 headshot. So it actually takes six needles. Sorry, it's a needle rifle. 6 needles from the needle rifle to take someone's shields out. This is a concussion rifle, and we're going to do dead-on hit to the head chest area, and it actually takes 3 shots to take somebody down as a direct impact. Typically, when you're using a concussion rifle, I wouldn't necessarily recommend hitting straight on. But, I mean, the weapon fires pretty good. However, I mean, I find it's just somewhat limited. Like, I used to think it was a fairly powerful power weapon. And maybe, again, if you're shooting straight on, maybe so. But, I mean, if you're shooting for the feet, which you typically do with explosive weapons, then, you know, it took 4 shots to take the shields down there, and then a 5th, which, I mean, you could probably do with your DMR anyway. So, you know, again, if you use it properly, then maybe you can get the 3 shots as a direct impact, but generally speaking, it may not be possible, just because there is a bit of a time delay. You know, you got to lead your shots, let's put it that way. So I'm sure if you got really, really good at using the weapon, then you can probably be pretty effective with it. However, the problem is it's only available on a few maps and in limited supply, so you don't really get a lot of opportunity to practice with it unless you go into like a private session or something and you can get really good at it. Okay, next weapon we're going to look at is the rocket launcher, and again, the rocket launcher is only available on certain maps. Here we have it on Boardwalk. I mean, obviously, direct impact is going to kill. I mean, but it's a fairly short range weapon, but I have seen some pretty long range kills where the freaking rock is just traveling towards the guy, you know, for seconds, and the guy doesn't, you know, people don't even avoid it. To the feet, it's a 1-shot kill, and if you're aiming directly at the feet and your opponent jumps, it's still a 1-shot kill. So it's actually pretty hard not to get a 1-hit kill with that, with the rocket launcher. Although, you know, if you know, we're talking probably medium to close range, and that's definitely the way you want to use the rocket launcher. But you know, if they're jumping around side to side, I mean, it may actually take 2 rockets to take them out, depending on where you hit the ground, and especially if you're, you know, under the gun and you're firing it quickly, you don't have time to set up on the exact spot he's standing. Okay, now we're going to take you through the shot with the shotgun, and the shotgun obviously is a very close range weapon. I mean, again, you got to remember this is futuristic. They have shields, and you know, shotguns do have a pretty decent range, or pretty solid range in real life, but I don't know how well they do against shields. So, you know, again, and you got to balance the weapons too. So obviously close range, and we're just trying to figure out the range that you actually get a kill from. I mean, obviously point blank, you're going to get a kill, 1-shot kill. From back here, when the reticle turns red, it's a bit of a toss-up, because we tried it a couple times. Sometimes it took the shields completely down, sometimes it didn't. So, which would require either another shot or 2 melee hits, whatever. But really, what you'd like to do, either A, is to get into point-blank range, and what we'll see is the effective range for a 1-shot kill with a shotgun, which is pretty much just slightly farther than arm's length for the 1-shot kill. Otherwise, if you're rushing an enemy, what you want to do is if we get in fairly close where the reticle is actually red, but you got to get in even a little bit closer than that to take the shields down and then perform a melee attack. So a quick one-shot melee and your enemy's taken down. But again, you know, right here is probably about the appropriate distance, maximum appropriate distance for getting a one-shot kill. Okay, so I reviewed a few weapons, and it's just something I wanted to do because I've been getting some feedback, especially about the DMR and the bloom and all that. And I really wanted to take a closer look at the range and the shotgun, and just, you know, show you a couple other weapons just for fun, and maybe open up some discussion about it. I want to debate this. I mean, let's particularly, and I know most of the comments are going to revolve around the bloom and spamming the DMR, the trigger, and the Magnum, and even the needle rifle, and just spamming it, and why you should, why you shouldn't. Look at my analysis. Like, prove, you know, how do you refute my analysis? I mean, do you get better timing on the bloom? And if so, like, how can you be consistent with that? Like, I just don't see a way where you can, you know, physically time yourself and count. Even if you know, somebody suggested using a metronome, but even with that, it's like, man, you'd have to be pretty damn close for you to be able to reduce the time it takes to kill. I know a third of a second isn't that much, but I guess the point is trying to get that timing down, especially when you're coming from other games where you're used to spamming the trigger. It's very, very difficult to change that tactic to let the bloom reset. And I think I had the timing down fairly well. So if you're any slower with your timing, that's just going to increase your time even more. And it's by a factor, you know, you're taking 5 shots. So you're basically, you know, I guess there's 4 periods of time in between each shot. So each time you take longer to let your bloom reset, you're basically, you know, you got to multiply that time by a factor of 4. And that's how much time it's extending the time it takes to get your kill, basically. So anyways, I'd love to see your comments. I want to debate it with you guys, or debate it amongst each other, and let's see what you guys have to say. I'm looking forward to it for more strategies and tactics. Visit NextGenTactics.com. I'm SpiderBite, and I'm out.